Peter Obi, a misfit in a system designed to resist him. There is something almost tragically ironic about Peter Obi. In any functioning political ecosystem, he would be unremarkable. A competent, frugal, policy-minded politician with a reputation for restraint and prudence. In Nigeria, however, these same traits elevate him into something close to political folklore. It says less about the man and more about the environment. Nigeria is where political sanity goes, not just to be tested, but often to die. Obi's brand of politics is defined by restraint in a system lubricated by excess. He is frugal in a country where public office is synonymous with private indulgence. He appears content with modesty in a political culture that rewards flamboyance and conspicuous consumption. Unsurprisingly, this contrast has earned him a broad and passionate following across Nigeria's geographic and demographic spectrum. He represents, at least symbolically, a rejection of the old order. But symbolism, as Nigeria repeatedly demonstrates, is not structure. And structure is where the Obi project begins to unravel. Despite his widespread appeal, Obi has increasingly appeared as a one-man political enterprise, an outsized figure unsupported by a corresponding institutional backbone. Politics, particularly Nigerian politics, is not a solo sport. It is a brutal, coalition-driven contest that requires deep benches, loyal lieutenants, and a willingness to engage in the unglamorous mechanics of power. In 2023, Obi did something remarkable. He catalyzed the electoral success of a range of unlikely candidates under the Labour Party banner. Senators, members of the House of Representatives, and even governors. These victories suggested the emergence of a new political current. Yet once in office, many of these beneficiaries appeared to revert to the very behaviors Obi's movement ostensibly opposed. The most glaring example came when Labour Party legislators joined the familiar ritual of political patronage, voting for the acquisition of luxury SUVs. For a movement built on austerity and accountability, this was more than a misstep. It was a betrayal. It exposed a fundamental weakness. Obi inspired voters, but he did not sufficiently transform the political DNA of those who rode his coattails into office. The conclusion was inescapable. This was not yet Uhuru. If the legislative disappointment was a crack, the implosion of the Labour Party was a structural collapse. Under pressure, widely believed to be orchestrated by the ruling establishment using the machinery of state, the party fractured with alarming ease. What should have been a moment for decisive leadership instead highlighted Obi's limitations. He appeared either unwilling or unable to impose order, assert authority, or engage in the kind of internal political combat required to stabilize a party under siege. The party was in many respects an extension of his personal brand. Yet when it mattered most, he seemed constitutionally disinclined to act as its enforcer-in-chief. This is not entirely new. His earlier exit from the People's Democratic Party following a political clash with Nyesom Wike hinted at a pattern. Faced with confrontation, Obi tends to withdraw rather than engage. In a more orderly political system, this might be interpreted as dignity. In Nigeria's adversarial political theater, it is often read as weakness. And therein lies the paradox. Obi's political following, while energetic and vocal, has not translated into the kind of hard power necessary to defend political gains. It is a movement rich in enthusiasm, but thin in enforcement. Social media outrage does not deter political operators who understand that power, in Nigeria, is rarely conceded. It is contested, negotiated, and, at times, forcefully retained. So we arrive at the central question: is Peter Obi simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? Nigeria desperately needs the virtues he embodies: prudence, discipline, and a measure of ethical restraint. Yet the system within which he operates is structurally hostile to those very qualities. It rewards aggression over caution, patronage over principle, and resilience in political combat over personal rectitude. Obi's challenge, therefore, is not merely electoral, it is existential. Can a man who represents a different political ethic survive, and more importantly, succeed within a system designed to neutralize him? If he cannot build a cadre of like-minded operators willing to translate his ideals into actionable governance, his movement risks remaining a moment rather than becoming a force. Inspiration without institutionalization is fleeting. Peter Obi may not be the wrong man, But unless he adapts to the brutal arithmetic of Nigerian politics or reshapes it in ways no one has yet managed, he may well be a man out of time, in a country that needs him, but does not yet know how to accommodate him.